Here we are, year of adventure number 7. I'm out in the Helena National Forest looking out what would normally be a beautiful view right now, but as you can see there is smoke just covering this entire place. I would usually be able to see there's another mountain range that you can usually see the next valley over. Right now it's not there and the smoke makes it hard to breathe. It's rough, so I'm getting out in Montana. This is a special trip for me because now is the time where I'm actually moving out of my Bozeman apartment. So I don't know where I'm going. Well, I have 22 days to be out and have a new apartment and I don't know where I'm going yet. I thought it might be Helena, which is the city right down here in the valley. And it didn't feel right. So here I am, Helena National Forest, very pretty place, and I'm headed all the way to the west coast of Olympic National Park today, which is on the very western part of Washington. Never been, always wanted to go, and maybe on the way I find my new home. We got a lot of driving left to do still though, so probably like, I guess 800 miles is what it's gonna be. Lots of driving, so I guess we better get rolling. I'll stop and I'll make a quick little video if I find a cool spot along the way. Otherwise, I'm gonna see you in Olympic National Park. Oh, let me tell you what, it's a long drive from Montana to the Pacific coast. My gosh. Okay, so I'm about halfway to Olympic National Park right now. I'm in a place near Echo Valley Ski Resort above Lake Chelan, Washington. I think it's about halfway. I've got probably like 5 hours of driving to do tomorrow, maybe a little bit less. And I'm up here on this ski resort. And the best thing about Washington so far is if you look in the sky, it's blue. It's blue. I have been living in Montana where there's been nothing but smog for the past, for what feels like months right now. It probably has been a few months of just smog and smoke. So seeing these blue skies, even though it's still a little smoggy, just a little bit of like tickle in the back of your throat when you breathe in, this is way better than coming from Montana right now, and I think it's only going to get better as I continue heading towards the coast. But I've been driving around forever. I got some organic grapes from the local place down the road that are so good, and finally found a place without private property signs. So I think I'm sleeping right here in the back of my car. It's going to be lovely, and then tomorrow, hopefully, ferry and Olympic National Park, and I'm just thrilled for it. Good night. Dude, I made it to the ocean. I made it to the ocean. Let's go. Oh my gosh, I haven't been to the Pacific coast like this in so long. This is a different kind of place too. It's like, even though the air, I was really wanted to get to like the less smoky skies. You still can't see the blue skies here, but it's like the air feels clean. You breathe in and it just feels healthy. It's like there's a little moisture in the air all the time. You've got all the little, oh, you can smell the ocean. This is so cool, man. Oh, I'm so happy to be here. Let's go. It's been a long time since I felt the salt water. My gosh. And there's a little crane, a little heron over there, blue heron. There's a, oh, this is crazy. I haven't seen things like this in so long, and I'm totally geeking out. But let's step in the ocean real quick, because this is special. I'm in the ocean. I'm in the ocean, dude. This is like okay, all right, so coming back to reality here, I have to take this ferry across that. I don't really know exactly where or how to get on the ferry. I know there's a toll booth that way that I drove by, totally missed it. So I gotta go figure out how to get back to that. Get on that ferry and go across that thing. The Puget Sound. I made it, man. This is awesome. Bro, I'm on a ferry. And we're moving. Oh my gosh. I don't even know what to do. It's so cool. Bro, look at this ferry. It's so big. Like, look. Look at it. Like, I just ran one side of me, a little bit, like way out here. This is so cool. I'm like out of breath running to the front of this thing. Now look. on this ferry is that there's no sense of direction. Check it out, you can't see land on this side, you can't see land that way, and you can't see land that way, which is the way we came from. Like, we've just gone like a mile off, maybe not even a mile yet, just into the water, and I'm totally directionless. I don't know where we're going. I'm always used to being able to see the mountains and be like, okay, now we're headed northwest. That doesn't happen here, because it's like, I'm on the ocean. Man, I feel like Pirates of the Caribbean, like a captain, you know, back in the day, or like some misty ghost ship is about to emerge out of the fog. This is like crazy shit. I'm loving this. I made it across the ferry, and now I'm at this little restaurant called like the Burger something or another. I'm really hungry, so I'm gonna go get some food, and then it's the rest of the way to Olympic. Okay, eating some well-needed food here and on the Olympic Peninsula now. There's a couple things I learned about Washington so far. Is one, there's, especially the Washington coast, like you come over here to the west coast of Washington, it doesn't really rain like raindrops. Instead, what you're looking at is more of like an above water lake. It really never, the drop never hits your head, but every time you walk outside, you're somehow wet. It's walking through a mist so thick, the water just clings to you, which is crazy. Places like Skull Island, it's kind of like isolated and feels wild, but at the same time, the traffic here is crazy. There are so many cars, but there's no real cities that I've seen yet. I don't understand. There just seems to be so many cars though. So it's a weird thing, weird dynamic. I guess we're super close to Olympic National Park though, so that might be it. I don't know. Maybe it'll open up after I get a little closer, because right now I'm still on like the Tacoma, Seattle side of Olympic National Park. I'll go around to the other side of the peninsula. We might be able to find a little more open area. That's my hope anyway. See some seals, hopefully some whales. There was a whale tour thing that I might go on, which, I'm hoping. I'm here. We made it to Olympic National Park. This is my campground right here. This is the place. But I want to show you, because I usually don't plan these things out, and what I found out is that Olympic National Park is different than virtually every other park I've been to, and the fact that there are no roads that run through this park. The only place that I am at right now is right in here at this little staircase ranger station. You can barely see it, but see, the roads don't go through. There's only a few horse trails that go through the middle of this park, which is massive. So I have like forever to adventure inside of this thing, which is pretty wild because we're just on the outskirts. So like all exploration that you have to do, you have to either have a horse or you have to like walk through this thing, which is different than any other national park I've ever been to. Makes this exciting though. So what I'm gonna do tomorrow is, I didn't bring any food, so I have to camp. I brought zero food. So what this is going to be kind of a spiritual camping experience. So I'm staying the night here in my car tonight. Tomorrow I'm gonna go up about a 7-8 mile hike up to this place called Flapjack Lakes, take a swim. I'll fast the whole time because I don't have food, so I don't have another choice unless I want to eat cedar bark. And I'll do that, I'll come back down, and then I have the rest of these options where I can go all around the park and choose if I want to go back in, hopefully get some good food while I'm out there as well. And there's a great little river right down here, so I'll take you down to see that, and I'm gonna set up to camp for the night. Let's go, man. Let's go. Okay, so here's the river. Beautiful little river. But what I'm more interested in talking to you about is that I've been working on this project for a very long time called the fire bow. This is something I've always wanted to be able to do. There's a fire starting method, an advanced fire starting method for outdoor survival. And it's something I've always wanted to be able to do, and I'm trying to do it right now. I'm trying to build up all the materials. So yeah, I've taken some paracord and I brought it up and I've tied it on this. So then when you put the stick in it, just like this, hold up. So you put the stick in. There we go. See, it kind of takes two hands to do, but I can show you. So you put the stick in like so, and then you can go up and down on the wood. I'm going to show you my attempts tonight because I might be able to do it. I've been trying all day for like the last 2 hours, and it's so hard to do. But I've come down to the river just to like carve out my stick a little better, make it a little bit better fire starter, and I'm going to try to see if I can start a fire with this thing tonight, and it's gonna be my project for the rest of the day. I might go dunk my head in the river, but starting this fire, even though I don't have anything to eat or a real reason to have a fire, I've always wanted to be able to do outdoor survival and start my own fires in the forest. So if I can start this fire, it's gonna be a major feather in my cap. I'm gonna carve on my stick for a little bit, make this point just a little more pointy, and I'll try again. And if I start it, I'm gonna show you. All right, this may or may not work, but this is my first ever attempt at the fire bow fire starting method. I really hope it works. Normally you'd invest in a much larger tinder pile, but my goal is just to get a spark. If I can get this to burn here, I'll consider that a success. So that's my goal. Let's see if I can make it happen. Ah! Come on, come on, come on, come on. Ah! No, 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 no. That's devastating. Oh. Okay, so that was fire starter attempt number 1. Here's the cool part, is that I was actually getting smoke and I can still feel it. I can't quite keep my finger on there for that long because it's hot. It's so hot in here right now. I was so close, I just didn't quite get the spark. Oh, that's only my first attempt though. So I'm sure there's something I could definitely be doing better. I'll call it for night 1's attempt though. I'm so sore after trying that. I've been working on this. I found all these materials. Like I built this bow, I used the hatchet, I used all this stuff, I built this thing, I built this cool little stick. I've got a little indent in this thing for holding it on top of the stick, just like this, right? So I can hold this on top of the stick as it spins, and then I got this as my starter. The thing I think I could be doing better is that this could be a lot bigger, because it's really hard to hold down with 1 foot right now. And then whenever you start a fire, your tinder pile is supposed to be like significantly larger than the one I have right now if you actually want to start a fire. I didn't actually want to start a fire, I just wanted to see if I could actually get a spark and get a little flame going, and I couldn't do it, not with the fire bow, not yet. Damn it. Ah, gosh, I'm gonna get it in one of these videos and you guys are gonna see it, but I'm gonna call it there for the night, just because I don't think I'm getting any better mental space the longer I work on this right now. So tomorrow I'm just gonna have a good night's sleep tonight, and tomorrow I'm gonna go up the mountain for a long hike, one of the longest I've done in a while, like over 15 miles. No food either, so that should be fun. So I'll see you tomorrow. Right now, I'm just gonna take a break for the rest of the night. Good night. Thanks for coming with me. Good morning from Olympic National Park. It's a beautiful morning. Don't know, I actually have any idea what time it is. I know it's morning, but I slept maybe better than I ever have in my life last night. I went to bed at like when people were still up, because I got woken up by kids running past my car a few times, and woke up this morning like before anyone else. So I'm headed out hiking, perhaps what may be, now that I'm thinking about it, it may be the actual hardest hike that I've ever done in my life today. It's called Flapjack Lakes. Now it's a 15.6-ish mile hike round trip. but it has about 3,100 feet of elevation gain in like the first 7.8 miles up. So today I'll be covering something like 6,200 feet of elevation gain, which is crazy. Another thing is that I've gone this far before, right? I've done hikes this big before. I've backpacked in the wilderness. I did a 17.8-ish mile jog once upon a time. That was one of the hardest things I ever did. And I've hitchhiked, probably walked like 23 miles in one day when I was hitchhiking. But because I'm doing such a high elevation gain and I'm doing this in a brand new environment where if you disappear into the forest, like right back here, you can lose where you are and your sense of direction so fast. So maybe I'm just talking because I'm a little nervous about it, because I haven't done this in a long time, and I'm hoping I'm still in good enough shape to be able to do a hike this big. But up at the top, there's some mountain lakes. I'm gonna go for a little swim, come back down. If I average like 3 miles an hour walk the whole thing, it'll be a 5-hour day, but never seems to go quite as it's supposed to go. But I'll see you at the top. Olympic National Park, here we come. So I've run into a dilemma. I've been hiking up here for who knows how long, and I'm almost certain that the lakes I want to go to are somewhere up in these mountains. The problem is that the trail I followed to get here, you can barely even tell it's a trail right now because of how thick the forest is, but the trail I followed to get here goes that way. I don't like that. There's this tributary. This is the river that I marked as like my landmark. It goes back to the car, back to the campsite I'm staying at. There's a tributary here that goes up the other way. So there's a lot of factors right now, and I don't know how to get to these lakes. I knew this was probably gonna happen. Like, it's hard to navigate this kind of forest. It's so thick and so different that it's just a different experience trying to figure out how to get out and get through it. So I don't know what I'm gonna do yet, but I still want to take a hike. There's probably a place around here that I can do that. I don't know. Oh gosh. Oh. So I can't find the trail to go to these lakes. I don't know where it is. I've walked around this place a little bit. I also found this cool little campfire spot, but I walked around. I came from this way. There's no trail going off that way. There's no trail across the river. I don't know how to get to these lakes. I know there's another trail I passed a while back, so I'm just gonna go back and hike that. But I wanted to take this opportunity after I jumped in the river to let you know I did something very stupid that you should not do while you're out here. If you look closely at my fingers, I have a little berry juice still on them. They're a little blue. I found a bush that had huckleberries on it, or I thought they were huckleberries. And I was like, ooh, huckleberry. I just popped one in my mouth right away. And it tasted sour. Now, it was probably a huckleberry. But on the other hand, there is, I haven't eaten a huckleberry for like a year, all right? So that's number one. And then number two is that I know there's a very dangerous plant that grows in Olympic National Park called deadly nightshade, and it's called deadly nightshade for a reason. Is that there's stories about people who are allergic to the plant who even get like a little bit of the berry juice on their hand after like putting their shirt in the washing machine. They'll actually end up dying from it. So it's a very, very toxic plant. and it's probably not what I ate, but if it is, it usually takes a few berries to actually put someone in serious danger, like a significant amount, like a handful or so. I ate about half a berry before I was like, ooh, that's sour, I probably shouldn't have it. If it was deadly nightshade, I'll probably feel it in like 8 hours, 6 hours or so, and I'll be able to let you know, like, hey, this sucks, or hey, it was a huckleberry and I deprived myself the pleasure of eating out of this huckleberry patch. But the point is, if you're not absolutely sure what you're eating in the forest, then you really probably shouldn't eat it. All right, so I made that mistake today. I'll probably be totally fine, but it's just a heads up for everybody else that's in the forest and thinking about all this stuff. Don't eat the plants that you don't know exactly what they are. If you're not familiar in a new area and think you see something that looks familiar, but you're not quite sure, don't eat it. Just don't eat it. All right. I'm gonna head back. I think I'm gonna head back. There's another trail I saw on the way over here. That's a shorter trail. It's like 4 miles long. I probably come 4 miles. It's hard to tell when you can walk through this forest, but there's another trail a little ways back. I think I'm gonna go hike that. It's a little more trafficked. And this is a cool forest, dude. Cool forest. I couldn't find Flapjack Lakes, but I could find this one right here. So I guess it's the one we'll do. Let's go. I gotta point out while I'm here in the forest is just look at how big these trees are. Like, let me give you some perspective real quick. Let's put you right here. Let's look at the size of this tree. This is amazing. Oh my gosh, there could be like 5 of me that fit around that thing. That's just unbelievable. It's so just grand here. It's magnificent. So I started walking on that other trail, but it just kept going up the wrong way. So I figured I was going the wrong way. And I could see I was actually going the right way because the parking lot's right around this bend and the trail's over there. But I just came through like the thickest forest ever to get to this river. So I think I'm just gonna walk through this and try to find my way back, try to get back to the trail that way. I guess, yeah. It's like the most scuffed way to do stuff, and I don't know, getting my shoes wet. All right, let's do it. Let's do it. Ah! It just feels so wrong to have wet shoes. It's like you did like some sin against nature or sin against like the shoe company who built your shoes for you. It's just goofy. But there's worse things to happen in life, right? Worse things. All right. Time to go home. Great example of how thick this forest is now that I just came through the river. Here's the river. Here's where we gotta go. So just watch how fast that river disappears behind me. You would never know there was a river there if you couldn't hear it. It just disappears. Now let's turn around right about here. Now look around. You can almost tell there's a little gap. You can tell there's a little gap that way. But this is the thickest forest I've ever been in. It's just the craziest place. Yo, so I made it out of Olympic National Forest. This is kind of going to be part 2 of this video. And sneak peek, if you join me, this guy here on the coast right now. And tomorrow, if it works out, we have a surprise for you. But right now, we're just going to find a good place, spend the night, relax, and be in the ocean. Good morning, world. We just woke up in the northern part of Olympic National Forest. Now we're headed into a town called Port Angeles to see if there's any whale watching tours out here on this beautiful view. Like, look at that, man. The ocean. This seaside community is seriously a place I could see myself coming back to. We have Olympic National Forest right here. And look, all those mountains up there. It would be amazing to hike those. We have the ocean right here. So it's about 6:45 a.m. here in Washington right now. The big plan, the surprise today, was supposed to be a whale watching tour, and it turns out the only whale watching tours that are actually going on consistently right now are across the border in Canada. Since it's COVID, we can't get to Canada, which is a shame. But the good news about this is that like every no tends to open another door of opportunity. And check out where I am right now. This is Crescent Lake, part of Olympic National Park, which is like an offshoot. Comes from this way up with these mountains. Above these is about 100,000 acres of total wilderness, like real wilderness, some of the thickest wilderness I've ever seen. And then right on here on this side, and a little bit of these mountains over here, is another little corner of Olympic National Park, and the ocean's right over here. Just total wild. It's fantastic. So I don't know what else we're gonna end up finding today. I really don't. Maybe mountain biking, maybe some whale tour ends up happening by luck. Right now we're just driving down the western coast of Olympic National Park, seeing what Washington has to offer. And the water is way too cold to jump in this morning. I was thinking about it, but no, I'm not gonna do it this morning, but we're gonna see what else we find. I'm looking forward to it. And this is, I'll save that for another time. Goodbye, Crescent Lake. Thank you for being awesome. See you in the next spot. So we didn't get to go whale watching, but we found second best thing. Hot springs, baby.
Okay, is this the hottest one?
I think this is the hottest one.
Okay, let's go cool one first. Let's go cool
okay,
one
okay, okay. Okay. Whew. That was really hot.
That's like rule number 3 right there. Rule number 1's no drowning though, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Help me.
Woo.
Is this one the hottest or that one? That one.
Yeah. Oh, gosh.
Yeah. It's like 103. This one's 107. Okay. You can go in the baby pool if you want and like work your way up.
Ooh.
This pool.
Hot springs.
I think this is a good thing, right? This is
You just keep driving when you don't get to go whale watching.
It's so cold on the top half of me and so warm on the bottom half of me.
It's pretty hot, dude. Oh my god. One of my favorite parts about traveling in a time where like most of the world's been closed down for a year is right now you're getting a moment where the coolest people in the world are all traveling at the same time. The coolest people all want to get out and have fun. We just sat down next to an old guy that used to play like the pre-game warm-up for Louie and the Blowfish Band. There's all sorts of cool people that are travelers having fun, great parents, great fun. Great friends that you can make from all over the world, like a couple from Connecticut we met. There's so many cool people traveling right now. So when you take these moments to drive down a random dirt road, you can usually rely on the fact that somebody else that is just probably going to be your best friend has done the same thing earlier that day. So usually when I travel, I hate the idea of being with people or like a lot of other people at the same place. For the first time in like my travel career, I'm loving seeing places with a lot of people because you can always count on them being some of the best people you're gonna meet. So we're here in something like Sudak Hot Springs right now. The plan after this, we're gonna soak for probably another 30 minutes, maybe an hour, and then we'll head out for a hike up one of these mountains, and it's the thickest forest ever. I can't wait to take you inside just to show you how it's like a different world when you get under some of this forest. All right, so I'm gonna go back to soaking, but great place. If you have the opportunity to go to places with other people right now, take them. Instead of always trying to be so alone, this is the best time to do it during this time in the world of travel. So this prime example of Olympic National Forest. It's crazy to look at just how big everything is. To really experience a forest, wherever you go, you gotta get off the trail. Plus, this moss feels way better on my bare feet. Check it all out. It's so pretty. right, so just finished a quick little morning hike, more of a little walk because I didn't have shoes. But what we're gonna do is we had a lot of driving to do today, so we're going down to Forks all along the west side of Olympic National Park. We're gonna go down and find a good breakfast restaurant, get a good workout in the day because I'm feeling fat and lazy, and then we'll make it happen. All right, so more places to discover. Here we go. Forks restaurant just got an awesome breakfast right here. We got biscuits and gravy over here, and I got a little scramble here. By far the best food we've had so far on this trip. By far, Forks, Washington, thank you. So one of the Native American hotspots back in the day of the world was northwestern Washington. It was a paradise for people to survive in, and you can see why. What's up, man? Hey, Puffs. You can see why with all this vegetation around here. It's so thick. It's like a mini forest. It's crazy. Look how tall all this is, man. I've never seen anything quite like this. Even when we've been to California, when we traveled around, I guess I've never been anywhere tropical.
Interesting how it smells like ocean and forest.
It's weird. But living here in like 1400 would have been the place to live. It's just magnificent. Welcome to Ruby Beach. This place is so cool. It's like, oh man, I haven't spent enough time around the ocean. Of all the places that I haven't been enough, one of them has got to be the Pacific Ocean. So where we are right now is on the western side of Olympic National Park, on the western side of the peninsula. So we went up and around, came back down, and now the ocean's right here. This place is so cool. There's this big island over here. I'll show you real quick. Check this island out. It reminds me of like the turtle. If you remember like Avatar, the Last Airbender, this big island reminds me of the turtle. Yay, dang the power to defeat the Fire Lord. Like there's just, the ocean's so spectacular. And there's waves. So I'm gonna go get smacked around by the waves a little bit. Can't help it while I'm here. The ocean is so scary here. It's like, it's so cold. And then you've got like this dark brown red water. It's like, this place is wild. All right, I'm gonna push you on so you don't get lost in the current. Woo. Oh my. Salty. So here we are coming to the end of Year of Adventure number 7. I've been around the entire Olympic Peninsula on this Year of Adventure number 7. I saw some beautiful places, saw probably the best parts of Washington. Now I'm in central Washington, which is one of the least pretty parts of Washington. But I saw some amazing things. Big things on my mind that I wanted to share. Guess that we're kind of done with the adventure now. We're just kind of winding down. I'm headed home. I don't think anything else super exciting is going to happen. If it does, I'll make sure to let you know. But big thoughts on the top of my mind is that adventure, at least when you start for sure, is something that you should do alone. Doing it with somebody, like I brought Jacob with me this time. It was super fun to have him. I always love having that guy around. Always fun for me. But it limits what you can do by yourself, no matter who you travel with, whether it's a significant other, a family member. Probably family members are the worst, to be honest, but you travel with somebody and it limits the ideas of what you want to do and what you want to accomplish, because you have to accommodate for somebody else. Whenever you travel, especially when you start out, you have to be very clear on what your goals are. If you want specific things out of the adventure, like one of the goals I wanted to have out of this one was to get in way better shape as I went through every new campground, every new spot. I wanted to go swimming in the ocean a ton. I didn't do that as much as I normally would have while I was alone, because I was with Jacob and I had to accommodate a lot of what we both wanted to do. Now, that's not a bad thing, and like I said, I still had a ton of fun with him. But if you're going to adventure alone, you got to be very clear that if you're going to take someone with you, your goals aren't going to line up the same way that you want them to. So you have to be much more flexible when you bring someone with you. If you want to adventure right now, though, get a goal, go for it, and then go accomplish that goal. Have it as like your little zen time. But that's big thoughts that I have as I'm wrapping up Year of Adventure number 7. It was a magical one. Olympic National Park, the whole Olympic Peninsula was some of the most beautiful terrain and thickest forest I've ever seen. It was just absolutely magical. And the one berry I ate was definitely a huckleberry that I just freaked out about too much. Right now I've got a long ways of driving back through Spokane and then up to Sandpoint. Then I'm moving into a new apartment. I think I found a new one while I was on this adventure, so I'll make sure to make a YouTube video and show you the brand new apartment, show you the new town that I think I'll be living in. We'll just have to see if everything works out, but it's been a great one. Thank you so much for accompanying me on Year of Adventure number 7. See you next month.